Hi, it's Lew. When was Yahusha born? When did he enter the world? His actual date of birth. His conception was 9 months earlier, but when was he born? I've got this little page up here on one of my websites. Let me get rid of this. Yeah. And I'm going to drag my head over here and show you. Hey, what do you think of that? Yusuf is saying we should stop the pagan stuff and teach him what's real. Wouldn't that be nice? And his mother's saying he's too young to choose a costume. Anyway, happy Sukkoth. Actually, he was born around Sukkoth. And we're going to talk about this just briefly. The festival of Sukkoth is in the 7th month on the Hebrew calendar. And even though people are taught that he was born in the winter in the northern hemisphere, it's not true. I was listening to a broadcast this morning, and a fellow named Tony was on there. We like him. He's on the radio pretty much every day, and he was saying, traditions are different from reality. And he said, basically that he wasn't born during the winter or on December 25th. And of course the other people on the show with him were pretty shocked. They said, oh, you're not going to attack the bunny rabbit, are you? Later. And anyway, the details are all wrong about the birth of Messiah, Yahusha. The truth is far different in practically every detail. Anyway, there's several books I have out that discuss the birthday of Yahusha. It wasn't really he doesn't celebrate his birthday, never did. But he was born, so there was a day that he was born. That's why I call it the birthday. When was Yahusha born? Well, a partial list of pagan deities born on December 25th, who really don't exist. They're all Nimrod, using different names. They're all listed here. You can see them. And we don't want to be associating with things like that. They were talking about the Christmas tree on the radio, though. And this Christmas tree thing, they were talking about a critic who was talking about the president's wife who decorated the White House. And they said, where's the color? Because everything was white. Well, white is the presence of all color. But the fact that she was decorating her trees with white doves, and that offended some people. And one person said that, they were pagan. Doves are pagan. Well, it depends. There is a pagan association, but that's more of a Norse thing, a Druid thing. But Noah had a dove come with an olive branch in his beak, and that was a symbol of the fact that he could be less anxious. I mean, hey, the earth was starting to reappear. And the dove that descended upon Yahusha bodily was a sign from the Father. He said, this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. And the dove wasn't a pagan occurrence there. But the doves on the Christmas tree were not really as bad as the tree itself. Nobody ever mentioned that in the radio show. The tree itself is a phallus. Any ornaments are, they're reproductive organs. They're testes. The wreath is, the female item. They don't know these things. They're not taught. Research will prove it. There's an article on lamblegacyfoundation.com, and Fossilized Customs, I think, has a page on it too. And Tourazone.net, you can get this article. It's called ASHERAH. Someone asked me one time, hey, what is an ASHERAH? Well, it's a tree, and it's a pagan thing. Children are not taught. So they grow up and they become adults, and they still do the things that children do. pagans. You know, they don't know. The other article that you should find is called An Esoteric View of the Mythological Christmas and Who and What It's Really About. Here's the article. It's a 4-page tract, and you can get that downloaded for free. There's the back. Nimrod's Secret Identity is a book that you should pick up. It'll tell you who he is. Now let's look at this. This page is fosslascustomscom/birth.html. You could go find that. It talks about the conception of Yehukanan, who was Yahusha's cousin. He was the son of Zechariah and Elisheba. They call her Elizabeth. And we've got the prescribed time for the time of Sukkoth and Pesach and Shavuot and the priesthood that Yehukanan's father was a member of. The conception of Yahusha is not the birth, but the conception. He was conceived 6 months after Yehukanan. They call him John. And in the 6th month of Elishaba's pregnancy, the messenger Gabriel appeared to Miriam and informed her of Elishaba's pregnancy, saying, "This is the 6th month," that's the Hebrew calendar, "with her who was called barren." The messenger is referring to, Elishaba. And this sets the conception of Yahusha during Hanukkah. The conception was during Hanukkah. And Yehukanan's Besorah, or Gospel, shows us Yahusha observed Hanukkah. And that would be John, or Yehukanan 10, verses 22 and 23. It was the time of the festival of the dedication of the temple, Hanukkah. That's what the word means, dedication. And the light of the world entered the womb of Miriam. Now, this man was this cousin of Yahusha, Yehukanan, was a prophet in the power of Eliyahu. And Eliyahu is the prophet of the name. Anyway, let's go down, and you can get all this slowly by visiting this webpage. Sukkoth occurs in the 7th month of the Hebrew calendar, which is the real calendar. And Kaiser Augustus issued a decree to register all the world. And that's mentioned in Luke 2. They were given a full year during which to do so. And Yusuf had to go to his place of Bethlehem to register. Now, here's an interesting thing. I want to read to you a part of this book called the Magisterium. Let's see if we can do this. Putting it upside down. This is introducing the Nicolaitans, where we inherit all this pagan stuff. And look, I'm using a bookmark. It's what? I put it in some of my videos because it's wrong. But you're not supposed to put trees in your houses. Yirmiyahu chapter 10, remember? Now, starting here, we have, when was Yahusha born? This is page 96 in this book. I'll read a little bit of it. Passover is a shadow of Yahusha's death, not his birth. I'm mentioning this because there's teachers out there directing people with thoughts that he was born in the spring, because lambs were born in the spring. Okay. All right, now Passover is a shadow of Yahusha's death, not his birth. The idea that Yahusha was born in the early spring, when lamb's birth rates peak, sounds plausible. But Yahusha's birth is more associated with Sukkoth and his circumcision on the 8th day. Shepherds watch over their flocks day and night, but especially to protect them from night-stalking predators. not primarily to watch for lambing. That would be lambs being born. Equivocating can be unintentionally associating dissimilar but coincidental occurrences, very much like Christianity has adopted the rebirth of the Son as the rebirth of Yahusha. You can see more details in another fossilized customs page that I'm showing you right here. So this is a book that you might want to pick up at Amazon.com. It's about 199 pages. Anyway, I've got a stack of these articles or tracts right here. Just look at this. This is like, it's a stack. And the two I showed you, one was Christmas, an esoteric view of the mythological Christmas. And this one, Asherah. And there's lots and lots more. Anyway, there's syncretism. That's one that you've seen before, hopefully. And how everything got turned aside the myths by the Nicolaitans, the people that were confusing us and still continue to. Obviously, when you are a child, you do the things of a child. But when you become a man or an adult, you mature. And you don't keep doing childish things. And that's what we're trying to do, is wake some of these people up. Like in the media especially, they don't know. They can find out, but some of them are afraid to tell you. Like, your pastor knows, but your Christian pastors know. But they lose their job if they told you the truth. Hardly anything that you hear them say is true. Anyway, thanks for watching this. I want to sign off with just the concept that the circumcision of Yahusha was on the 8th day of the 7th of the festival of Sukkoth. Sukkoth starts on the 15th day, when the moon is full, in the 7th month of the Hebrew calendar. And then 8 days later, we have the last great day, which is the circumcision. And that's when Yahusha was circumcised. Now, if anything that you hear in the media or from teachers or pastors inform you that there were magi there when the shepherds were there, that's impossible, because he was 2 years old. And that's why all the 2-year-olds and under were killed by Herod. But also, the fact that Yahusha would have missed his circumcision had he fled to Egypt that night. It was 2 years later. So anyway, enjoy the truth and don't upset people because you know the truth. But just stop the pagan stuff, and it'll do you a lot of good. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.